Hello and welcome to Family Matters. Thank you so much for joining us. On this program, we discuss family issues that affect different members and individuals. And today, we are looking at how to develop happy in law relationships. To help me discuss this matter, I have Liz and Mike. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, Liz, I know that there are many relationships, in law relationships, but for the purposes of this show, what exactly are we discussing today?
For the purposes of this show, we are only focusing on parents in law and their sons and daughters in law.
And what motivated you to think about this?
You know, we discover that this is one of those situations or relationships that, if given adequate attention, there will be so much sound relationship and people can be able to be happy. And also, in most cases, this discussion is presented in seminars and in workshops whereby maybe you only find a mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. Rarely do you find father-in-laws and son-in-laws in those workshops. So it is not done professionally and adequately. Now we are thinking if we present it on a TV, we might reach both parties out there. They might be able to hear what their party is supposed to do to make this relationship a sound one.
Actually, what you're saying is true because each time I think about in-laws, it's always mother and daughter,
Yeah.
nothing else.
Yeah.
Mike, anything to add to that?
The in-law relationship, daughter-in-law, mother-in-law, son-in-law, and father-in-law. This is one of those relationships that is highly challenged and is in itself very challenging. And it does decide the future happiness or sadness of a marriage. So we really want to bring up issues, discuss issues, so that at least we know how best to manage this, so that at least at the end of the day, we create happy marriages.
Yeah.
And that the sons-in-law, daughters-in-law, father-in-law, this kind of relationship can be supportive of a young marriage, so that at least it can sail through safely.
Right.
Yes.
So, what are some of the challenges that in-law kind of relationships face, Liz?
There are so many challenges that in-laws face. One of those is stereotypes. You find when I'm saying stereotypes, someone gets married already with this thought in them. They grew up hearing mother-in-laws are a problem, or daughter-in-laws are a problem, or father-in-laws, they are too demanding, or sons-in-law, they are not caring, they are not sensitive. So the moment they get into this relationship without having to find first-hand information, they already are coming with their buckets filled up already, such that any little thing, they just think, uh-oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
The mother is starting it again, and that's how they are.
Even if the mother is not somebody like that.
No,
Yeah.
no, they don't give each other the time to
Yeah.
really know this person as an individual and not to generalize their relationships.
Right.
Yeah.
Mike?
For me, I think parents suffer what I would like to call dethronement syndrome. You see, parents are in control of their children and they decide what happens. In other cultures, it does not matter whether you are married or whatever the case may be. Parents feel like they want to be in control and they're in control. So when you've got a bride coming into the life of their son, or you've got possibly a groom coming in the life of their daughter, it's like they're being dethroned from the control
Right.
that they've been enjoying. And this dethronement then does create a lot of challenges in the relationship.
You know what I find interesting about this is that the mother-in-law is also a daughter-in-law to somebody else.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
everybody forgets about
Yeah.
that.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's
Liz.
true. The other challenge is that parents-in-law fail to let go.
Okay.
You know, this is their daughter, this is their son, who is now married. And when they look at this boy, they still see him as a boy, not a man anymore.
Mm.
Such that as a new family that is being started, they are not given adequate time to make their personal decisions as a nucleus family. The parents-in-law, they continue to want to exert their own influence,
Right.
do things our way. You don't have to allow your wife to do that. You know, you grew here, you see how I do things. Such that even if this young man and young woman want to have their own values, that they say this is how we want to run our marriage. The parents-in-law, they don't want to accept it. They want to stipulate how things should be done. They continue looking at these two as young girl and a young boy. Yet
Sure.
these are now mature
And they're
people.
grown, and sometimes with their own children as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Mike?
The other thing, of course, is the dependence syndrome. I want to run on syndromes.
Right.
From the dethronement syndrome, and then we go to the dependence syndrome. You know, parents spend some time their lives educating their daughters, educating their sons, and what have you. And this takes a toll out of them economically. But at some stage, they get to retirement stage, or there are other major financial challenges in their lives, and they tend to then assume the role of being children also. Now that their sons and daughters are now working, they feel like it's now time for you guys to also take care of us. And they bring in this relationship. Now their children are now married, but they are also coming into this marriage as people that needs to be taken care of. And if that area is not properly managed, there will be over demanding from the parents' perspective that will challenge the groom and the bride in the new marriage that they are trying to create.
Not just saying something that is very, very important, because many people cry about that, to say, look, I have my own responsibilities now, but in addition to this now,
Yeah.
this must happen.
Yeah.
Of course, we encourage that where you can help, you can if possible.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
it mustn't be something that weighs down
exactly.
on you as well.
And maybe while we are still even there,
Mm.
I think it connects with the point that because of this dependence syndrome,
Mm.
some parents may end up asking their own child financial help without having to allow this man or this woman to discuss as spouses. So things are now done behind the back of the other spouse.
Yes.
Secretly, someone takes finances, monies, and goes and helps their mom or their dads, and the other partner doesn't even know what's happening.
Yeah.
And they are actually encouraged. They'll say, you know what, we won't even say it. Please don't say it, because I didn't
Yes.
tell him, or she doesn't know that this is what I've done.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you encourage your children to be able to have secrets that may be destructive to their relationship.
Sure.
I think besides it being secretive, a parent who feels like I'm still a parent and you are my child may actually demand that we want money. What are you guys? Can't you see we are suffering? We need money. We need to take your siblings to school. We need to take care of this and so forth. And I expect you to bring money. It's to them, it's an expectation. It's a must do. You must do it because you are my child. And then you have this boy now who is under this commandment from their parents, and maybe the girl is not ready for that kind of a thing. You can then imagine he is receiving pressure from the parent and is receiving resistance from his wife now. He does not, who do I make happy between the two? And sometimes you find he would rather make his parent happy
Yes.
at the expense of his wife. Or if he
Sure.
makes his wife happy at the expense of the parent, then there's additional pressure upon pressure coming from the parents, as
Yeah.
it were.
I know someone jokes around and says we pay government tax and also child tax.
Yeah.
It's compulsory. You have no
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
You must,
Yeah.
you must do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Anything else to add, Liz?
I think the other problem is within this relationship, parents-in-law and children-in-law, sons and daughters-in-law, there are a lot of things that take place. Both the new spouse, the new wife or the new husband are coming from different backgrounds. And when they are now meeting your parents, the parents, they expect that your wife should behave in a certain manner or your husband should behave in a certain manner. But this guy or this lady, they don't know which manner is acceptable within your
Right.
family setting.
Mhm.
They are coming from a different background, different socialization, and they need to be groomed or to be nurtured into that new relationship. But what happens is it's condemnation, it's judgments, and this person is told not to be well behaved. You are coming from what? You are not well mannered. What type of a wife is that one who gives me water standing instead of kneeling? Or what type of a son-in-law is that? When he comes here, he's putting his hands in his pockets. But no one has actually taken time
To explain.
to explain things. So I think it is very, very important to be able to clarify misunderstandings so that you are able to have a sound relationship.
Especially now where we don't necessarily just marry within our tribes. We marry cross culture,
Yeah.
cross race. So you must explain from the word
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Mike?
Yes, and I think maybe pursuing the idea of culture, in the Western world, um, there is individualistic ideology.
Right.
You are your own person. You belong to your person. You make your own decisions. But on the African continent, we get married to the whole clan, to the extended family. So if there are some cultural rituals that the father-in-law is planning or the parents are planning, he in his mind everybody must attend and everybody must be there because we are a clan. We are not just a people by ourselves. And this may pose a serious challenge, more especially if the bride does not espouse to the cultural practices that are being practiced in this particular family. And she would like to feel like, I cannot join that because of my beliefs and what have you.
Right.
But the parent will still say, put your beliefs aside. This is my family, and I expect every child of mine to be here and every daughter-in-law to be here or son-in-law to hear. Stop telling me about your beliefs, please. You have to be there. We are meeting on a Sunday, and I expect you to be there. And this can be a lot challenging because on the African continent, we think like a group.
Yes.
We don't think like individuals.
Yes.
Yes.
I know of individuals where sometimes when let's say I've given birth and I come from a Christian background,
Yes.
they want to take the child and go and do their traditional
Yeah,
rites
yeah.
on the
Ye-
child.
yes,
And
yes.
for them, it feels like we must do this. That's what we do
Exactly.
in our family.
Exactly.
Then the conflict comes there to say, but I'm a Christian. I don't do
Yes.
this.
And
Yes,
talking
please.
about that,
Mm.
there's also pressure that is put
Mhm.
in the expectations of how you train up and bring up your children.
Yeah.
The parents-in-law, they have their own way of how children should be brought up. And they expect their son or
Yes.
their daughter
Yes.
to do exactly the same way they were brought up,
Right.
Mhm.
forgetting that environment is moving and changing.
Yes.
And the ways I may want my children to be raised might be different from the way you, mom and dad, raised me.
Right.
Exactly. Yes.
But that may not go very well. It may appear like, so you think we are now old fashioned? Or the daughter in law and the son in law will say, you know what? That's the thing of the past.
Mm.
You are imposing on how we want to bring up our children.
Right.
We are not in that generation. The laws that are being set within this family, we now are different from the way you raised us. We want to come up with our own norms, our
Yeah.
own values, our
Yeah.
own principles as a nucleus family. And it may not go well with the parents-in-law as well.
Sure. I think let's
Yeah.
carry on this conversation after the break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Family Matters. Today we're discussing how to develop happy in-law relationships. Mike, before the break, we're still discussing some challenges that in-laws may face. Anything
Yeah.
else that you wanted to add to that?
Yes. I want to still follow the follow up the idea of us being a group, being a clan, and at the center of this clan is possibly a father who is in control. And you may find out that because we are an extended family, and my marriage is part of that extended family, that my father would want to be a centerpiece of decision making. He wants to get in my marriage and also be part of decision making. And I think this may bring a lot of challenge. It does bring a lot of challenges where me as a bride, a new husband to my wife and and stuff like that. We cannot make our own decisions without possibly cross-referencing and checking with our parents whether this decision is okay and what have you. So there's this challenge in some cultures of a marriage being a marriage in its own right. It is always a marriage in reference to the authority of parents.
Right.
And this does bring a lot of challenges.
Right.
And having said that, also, I see a challenge where sometimes, and this is very, very unfortunate, but some people see beauty in it, a challenge where you are married, but you remain staying with your parents. And the parents feel like they're doing you a favor, they're doing you good. Don't worry about looking for your own apartment and whatever, you can stay with us. Can you imagine? You need to go through adjustment phase with your wife, and it's not easy to go through adjustment. And you go through those adjustments in the full view of your parents. They're inspecting this and they're watching this and so forth. It's not nice for the newly married people.
So
They need to be on their own.
cleave and live.
Yes.
I think the other challenge also is between in-laws, it's when it comes to conflict management.
Right.
There is a situation where obviously the parents-in-law or the children-in-law, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, they really know that we have a problem. The daughter-in-law comes and tells mom-in-law or father-in-law that I'm having a problem. Your son is having an affair. And you'll find they may even answer and say, is that something you can worry about? Men, they do that.
Yeah.
You know, this thing of, it's like, it's okay for this man to have an affair.
Right.
And the daughter-in-law is saying, but I cannot live like this. And conflict is solved using bias.
Yes.
There is no openness to look and address the situation as it is coming. It could be maybe even the son-in-law is facing problems from the wife's side. He has conflicts, he has challenges with what is happening. And he goes to the aunts of this person or to the father and to the mother and say, I'm having problems on such a situation. And they will call their daughter and say, don't worry.
Yeah.
We were just talking, don't even pay attention. Whom does he think he is?
And these are real situations that
Yeah.
take place. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, the idea of, I think this is wrong, where culturally it is assumed men are like that.
Yeah.
You know, the young man is into affairs. And you go to the aunt, you go to his parents to say, we are having a challenge. And then you are told, men are like that. But they expect you to be extremely and religiously faithful
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
him. But for him, no
It's
men
okay.
are like that.
Yeah.
Wow. I think, well, let's just move to the next part of it.
Yeah.
Mike, are there any biblical examples of in-law relationships that worked out very well that we can follow, perhaps?
Yes. I can't fail to think of Naomi and Ruth.
Of course.
I think it's one of the best biblical examples of what it means to be a happy mother, mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. It was beautiful to a point where even after losing their husbands, they cleaved together, they remained together,
Yeah.
just to show how important it was
Right.
in their lives, how they connected and how they became a people
Yeah.
together.
And following on that, you know, I'm actually thinking these days when a fiancé and their fiancé want to get married, I see on their wedding bells they even write
Yeah.
this verse: "Your people shall be my people. Where you go, I shall go.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
you die.
Where you die, I
I
will
will
die."
Yes.
Yeah.
And they put it so nicely.
Yeah.
But believe you me, those words did not come from a wife to a husband or a husband to a wife.
Yes.
It was from a daughter-in-law to
To
a mother-in-law.
Exactly.
Yes.
It simply shows how sweet their relationship was.
Yes.
And the other example I can put is between Jethro and Moses.
Yes.
You remember when Moses was leading the children of Israel from Egypt to Canaan,
Yes.
he was now confronted with all the issues he was supposed to be dealing with them, managing conflict all by himself. And here's the father-in-law who is so close to Moses. He sits and observes how the son is operating.
Right.
And he calls his son. He said, "Son, come,
Yeah.
let me give you some suggestions here. Why don't you delegate?
Yeah.
Why don't you give other people responsibilities
Mm.
so that you don't get weighed down?
Yeah.
Because if you continue the way you are continuing, you are going to break down my son-in-law.
Yeah.
And Moses says, wow, thank you so much to father-in-law. I think this is brilliant. And today, even in the corporate world,
Yeah.
We still use that.
we are now
Exactly.
using
Of
the
course.
Jethro delegation
Yes.
principles
Right.
from a father-in-law and
To
a
a son-in-law.
son-in-law.
Exactly.
Yeah.
While
Yeah.
we're on that, talking about suggestions from a father-in-law to a son-in-law, what are your suggestions now to our viewers to say how they can manage or develop happy in-law relationships?
Yes.
Yes.
For me, I want to quickly, in case somebody did not understand me, when we're talking about economic dependence
Right.
on your children, sometimes it is realistic that the parents who gave so much to a person that you are today may actually themselves be in a situation where they need help.
Right.
We need to take care of our parents.
Of course.
Sometimes we want to be good to everybody else minus
Except-
our parents. Whether he is a father-in-law or a mother-in-law, whatever the case may be, God has asked us, and not even us, he demands us to take care of our parents.
And there's blessings that come with that
Yeah.
as well.
Definitely, yes.
Yes.
And I think too, while we are still there, as we take care of our parents, there is need not to say, because I've taken 50 kg of meal to your people,
Yes.
we must also take 50 kg to my people.
The seminist theory.
That is feminist theory, does not apply if you
Yeah.
want to
Right.
be happy. Look at the needs and help them according to the needs. But even if there are no needs, just know that you are children. Don't let your parents to ask you for assistance. Have eyes that can see, have the heart to give to your own parents without them having to groan and to plead for you for your help.
But you know what you're saying. So just to take you on that, we have a saying back where we in Zimbabwe where we come from, where they'll say "Nanguta ngemukadzi wehama," which means you're
Yeah.
full like the relative of a wife.
Yeah.
It's assumed that the wife's relatives will always be taken better care of.
Yeah.
What do you have
Yeah.
to say about that, Mike? How we can balance that relationship to say no, both of them are family.
Yeah.
Let's take care of them equally.
I think it's not fair to show favoritism or partiality. A mother is a mother. A father is a father. Whether it is this issue of saying in-law or in-law is too legalistic. A parent is a parent, and we cannot differentiate our parents.
Right.
Just treat them the same.
Right.
Yes, don't make the separate treatment.
And I
Yes.
think also, realistically, if you love your son
Yeah.
and you want to see your son happy, you should make all efforts to love their spouse, their wife. Because the moment you cause division or the moment you start to bring about this segregation to say, this is not my daughter, I only love my son, then you are causing heartaches for your own son because you are making him now to take sides. So I would suggest just love your children. If you love your son, love their wife, because by so doing, you glue them together and they will also in turn respect you and love you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike?
And I think the other thing that we need is the let go principle.
Mm-hmm.
If your son is married, they are married.
Yeah.
He is suggesting, Daddy, I'm now an adult. Let me live. Let me go. I need space. My wife needs space. So parents should allow their children to be adults and be able to take care of themselves and to be accountable to themselves and live. So that at the end of the day, the parents, you remain with your domain, and your son also goes to have his own domain where he can also rule. Don't rule two places. You rule in your own area, and you also want to rule in your son's domain as
Yes.
well. It's not
It
proper.
won't work.
I
Yeah.
also think it is important for the couple, the new couple, to be respectful of their parents, both sides.
Yes.
Because these are your parents. They don't mean bad in some cases.
Of course.
It helps you to clear out the stereotypes that people have. Approach them with an open mind. Try to befriend your spouse's parents. Talk to them, chat with them. Get to know what makes them happy. Because you are the one coming to their family. Learn more about them. Ask, so that at least they will tell you, you know what, son? This is what I enjoy. Play golf with your father-in-law.
Yes.
Do things that makes him now start opening for you to understand why he does things. And same with your mother-in-law. Why not spend time in the kitchen with her? See how they cook that traditional meal that they would
Yes.
want you to cook, and learn from them.
Yes.
By so doing, you are narrowing the gap and
Yes.
you are becoming so close. Why should you say mother-in-law? Why can't you just say mom?
Yeah, that's it.
Because this is your mom who
Yes.
brought a very valuable person for you on earth.
Actually, in our culture, it's always mama, baba. There's
Yes.
no in-law that's put
Yeah.
inside.
Yes.
Now, what I want to just touch on something quickly while you're on there about respecting. I learned something from my mother about how sometimes during the courtship
Yeah.
period, you can sometimes influence your future spouses, how they will treat your parents.
True.
Yes.
If you're always giving them negative information about your parents, by the
Yeah.
time they enter into the marriage,
Exactly.
their mind is already distorted
True.
and they will
Exactly.
never respect your
Yes.
mother.
Mhm.
Anything about that, Mike?
Yes. Maybe let me throw
Okay,
it to Liz.
please.
It's very
Yeah.
true
Mm.
because you are setting a pace
Mhm.
as to how
Yeah.
much they are going to trust your spouse.
Yes.
Yes.
They don't know this guy, you know him better. So if you bring about negative talks, you are actually feeding them. Little do spouses know that whatever you say about your spouse and you are saying it to your parents, they may hold on to it.
Mm.
It will not be easy for them to just forgive. The two of you,
Will
you may
fix it.
forgive one another.
Yes.
But your mom, whom you have told about the bad thing your husband is doing,
Yes.
or your mom or your dad that you have told what your wife is doing to you, when they see this person walking, they just say, "What is this?"
Yes.
She thinks she's so clever. And they become so negative about your relationship. So it is best to avoid such type of negative talk about your spouse to your parents. However, if there is anything wrong that is going on, it is very good to share it in a manner that is respectful, that leaves this person with dignity.
And that will build and not destroy.
Yeah.
Mike, I see you're itching, but unfortunately our time is up. I wish you an hour for this show.
Yeah.
But we keep on talking as the weeks go by.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we have come to the end of our program, and I hope that you are blessed. If you have any views or any comments, please write into Mike and Liz using the details on the screen, and they'll get back to you as soon as possible. Until next time, goodbye and God bless.